Hey there, and welcome to the Heal with Grace podcast. I'm your host, Grace Secker, and I'm a holistic licensed therapist and nervous system coach who believes that the chronic and often unseen symptoms you're living with are a sign of something deeper going on, a sign that your nervous system needs attention. In each episode, I'll share the science behind the most common chronic health disorders, plus holistic tips using mental, physical, and spiritual practices. You'll hear what I've learned in my journey and the true stories from our trusted guests so you can feel less alone in your experience and give yourself grace no matter what you're going through. So without further ado, settle in and get cozy. It's time to heal with grace. Hello, and welcome back to the Heal with Grace podcast. I have no plan for today's episode, y'all, which is not totally unlike me, but it is unlike me. I want to talk to you about what I'm doing to prep my nervous system before I take a big trip. And y'all know I love travel, and I've had my ups and downs with travel so much so when it comes to being in pain or getting sick and my body really talking to me. And so what I've learned along the way is that I really take time and intention to set my nervous system up before I leave and also during it. What are some tips and tricks that I do? And then also, especially when I come home, like what am I intentionally doing? So this is going to be an episode on what I do, what I'm currently doing right now. I leave a week from today. This episode will probably air while I'm traveling. If you want to follow along, follow me on Instagram. It's going to be a pretty exciting and beautiful trip. I'm really excited. At the same time, I'm anxious. I'm not going to lie. I'm waking up at like 3 a.m., 4 a.m. and my mind is going off with like, what do I need? Or what am I missing? Right? Like I'm going to be gone for about 3 weeks. And so although I've done this plenty of times before, I mean, the anxiety never stops, to be honest, because there is a lot to do, right? I'm going out of the country. I'm going into a country that I need a lot of extra care and support and precautions to take. And I own a business. What do I do with that? People don't talk enough about what it takes to go offline or take time off when you own a business. This is just going to be a side tangent for all of my other therapists and coaches out there and any other business owners. I've had so many people tell me over the years, they're like, oh my gosh, you own your own business. That's so cool. You get to do whatever you want. Like you get to spend your time however you want. Y'all, it's not a cliche that like you see these reels, these videos of people that say, yeah, I quit my 9 to 5 so I can work 24/7 or quit my 9 to 5 to have more time to actually spend more time on a business. And that's true a lot of the times, to be honest. I'm working on changing that, but it takes a lot of effort and energy to take time off from a business. I have to prep things in advance. I have to make sure things are continue to run smoothly and what happens when I need it and I'm not there, right? So there's just a lot that goes into it. All right, tangent over. My point being, it's not only that, but it's also just how I'm also prepping my mind and body for this trip. So, what I usually do is I think about this time before, maybe like a week or two before, as my grounding period. So, we want to pad ourselves. I think of that like I want to pad my nervous system with all the good stuff. So, instead of speeding up and making myself really busy before I leave and being social and seeing people and doing extra work and all these things, sometimes you can't totally avoid all of it, but I am really being intentional this time about slowing down and releasing the expectations that I'm going to get all these things done before I leave. It's just not realistic. I am not going to redo my guest room, which I literally sat on Amazon the other night looking at ways to update it because I'm having people stay at the house to watch Ollie. And there's a few things about the room that I just absolutely hate, and I want them to be cozy. So, does that need to happen? No. No. Is it a nice to have? Yes. Things like that, right? Things that you just don't need to do, that your mind wants to do to feel more in control. My mindset. What I'm really doing is being super intentional about how I'm treating myself. Whenever there's anxiety that comes up in the body and the nervous system goes into the stress response, it immediately affects your mindset. So your mindset goes into catastrophizing of, no, what's going to happen? What am I doing? Like it wants to control because you might feel a little unsettled or out of control when you travel. That's pretty normal, right? Like you don't know what's going to happen. You're going to get out of your routine. You're in somewhere new. You just truly don't have control over your day to day, at least as much as you think you might want to. And so when we don't feel like we have control, which especially for us who have neuroplastic symptoms and we fit the quote unquote standard for people having more anxiety and wanting to feel more in control, our mind wants to then take over, controlling food, controlling exercise, controlling our environment, controlling our day, our routine, whatever it might be. So your mind's going to go into all these places to try to fix something to feel better about being in this transition period of feeling ungrounded when you travel, feeling uneasy because you don't know what's going to happen. You might have plenty of experiences that you don't know what happened and things happen to you. I've had so many experiences of getting sick and being in pain and having so many flares whenever I travel because my nervous system is anxious. It's stressed. That being said, I love travel. I love it. And you might be like, why? Symptoms always pop up for you when you travel. Yeah, because I know why. I don't pay attention to them. I'm not like, oh, it's telling me that travel is not good for me. I don't believe that about travel. I believe that about other things. Like, I really don't like to subscribe to the idea that you just keep pushing through symptoms and you keep rewiring because sometimes symptoms are there to set a boundary for us. Sometimes they're there to say, hey, this is not okay. I truly believe that that's what was happening in my marriage, my past marriage. My symptoms were yelling at me like, hey, this isn't for you. Yes, there's nuance there. That's not the only reason my chronic pain and illness was at a 10, but I know that it was telling me I was living out of alignment in my life. When it comes to travel, I don't believe that. Now, the way that I travel, yeah, okay, maybe in the past, meaning I packed a lot of things in. I didn't take the time before and after to resettle. I didn't take it slow. I literally, y'all, there was one time I went from, I can't believe I'm about to say this because it goes so against what I talk about. It goes so against like nervous system regulation and work and staying true to yourself. But hey, we're human and I'm talking about this because I've had lived experience. But I went to a ayahuasca plant ceremony retreat in Costa Rica. And no joke, when it ended, the next day, I go to the airport and I fly to Europe. Like, what? That's the opposite definition of taking it slow and recovering after a plant ceremony retreat. Whenever I mention that to people, their automatic reaction was like, whoa. They're like, whoa, why did you do that? Because everyone knows if you go through something like that, you need integration time. You need to take it slow. If you can, don't even work for a few days. Just integrate, let your body settle, and come back into the world and reality. Nope. I just went straight to a plane and went to Europe and probably traveled for 24 hours and got to a new country and a new time zone and didn't sleep. And it was a shit show. So, my point being is that when you have something coming up, and it may not be travel, it may be something else that you're nervous about that could signal to your nervous system that there's some unknown here. There's a place where you might feel out of control. Your mind and your body are going to want to take control in other ways. So it might start sending you symptoms, or your mind might start trying to fix something or hyperfixate on something, whether that is food or work or exercise or a new treatment. When we are fixated something, meaning you're thinking about it when you wake up, you're thinking about it throughout the day, you're focused on it, you're trying to figure it out. That's a way to control what you're feeling underneath the surface, which is uneasiness. So when we do that, or when that happens, I just really want you to be aware of that. And it often happens when travel is upcoming. And so back to what I'm doing. What I'm doing is I am not packing my schedule. I'm giving myself time. I'm giving myself space to just live and be and not expecting myself to get a bunch of things done before I leave. I'm creating my packing list. I created it last week. Okay. So I guess that was like 2 weeks ahead. Tonight or tomorrow, I'm going to do a packing first round. And then I'm going to figure out what I need or what I don't need. And I'm going to take that day by day. I am not going to work out hard. I'm taking it slow. I'll do my normal exercises and normal workouts, but I'm not going to push it. I'm not going to expect myself to do more than I ever do. And I'm probably going to do lower weight, and I'll probably walk more than do high intensity cardio or exercise or anything like that, because we don't want to stress the body more, right? Anything that stresses the nervous system is anything physical, mental, emotional, spiritual. So on the physical level, I am like literally just not packing my schedule. I'm also slowing down my workouts, and I'm doing probably 1 or 2 less a week than I normally would. And I'm just walking a little bit more and being in the sunshine. On a mental level, I'm watching my controlling thoughts. I'm really looking at, okay, what am I anxious about? What am I fixating on? What are the things I'm thinking about when I wake up at 3 a.m.? And I have a system for it, because I do. Past few nights, that's what I've done. I've been waking up and my mind goes, oh, you got to do this. Make sure you get that visa. Oh, these things. And so I have a notepad next to my bed and I write it down so that it's out of my brain onto the pad of paper, and then I can do it the next day. I don't hyperfixate on that I'm not sleeping. I'm not letting those anxious thoughts and my sleep disturb me that much. Now, my sleep isn't the best right now, but I'm not thinking too much about it or making meaning of it. I'm just going with it. And when I'm tired throughout the day, instead of increasing my caffeine intake, I am breathing. And I tell myself, hey, I see you. I can be tired. It's okay to be tired. We can do this tired. Honestly, even this podcast, I did that right before this podcast. I said, hey, we can show up tired and it's okay. Or say if I had a symptom right now, if I was in pain, I'd say, I can be in pain and also be in my day. Or I would switch that word from pain to sensation. I can have sensations and still be in my day, right? I'm just taking them, carrying them along with me, kind of with the energy of like, it doesn't matter. It is what it is, just like nonchalantly. That's the biggest part of this work. When you can be with your pain or illness symptoms in a nonchalant way, that is literally the way that people recover. And that is what I do when I've traveled in the past and I've had difficult things come up. So I'm going to go into that in a second, but I want to come back to, I talked about physically what I'm doing right now, mentally, emotionally. I'm noticing I'm not giving my emotions too much meaning right now. I'm journaling. I'm doing journal speak right now, and I'm journaling about what I'm afraid of or what I'm scared of. I'm journaling about some emotions that are coming up around a new project that I'm doing, some fear, some scarcity mindset. I'm doing my same practice, but I'm not giving a lot of meaning to some of the anxiety that's there. I'm not saying, oh no, I'm really anxious. Maybe I shouldn't do this. I'm just letting it be what it is. And then I'm patting myself. I'm watching some funny videos. I watched a really sweet, cute movie last night. And I gave myself those emotions of like, I'm patting myself with slowness, with groundedness, with positive emotions, and I'm laughing. I'm trying to implement more of those areas where I'm evoking certain emotional responses that signal to the brain, oh, hey, haha, we're here, or we're relaxed, or hey, that's us. Right? So instead of fixating so much on like, what do I have to get done every single day, which I'm there, but I'm not letting that run my day. I'm also patting myself and my nervous system with all the feel good emotions, the cognitions, the mental health, and the physical health. Spiritually, I am leaning into trust. Trust that whatever happens, I'll be able to help. I'll be able to navigate it. Trust that this is the right next step for me when it comes to travel or when it comes to this next thing that I'm doing, this next project. I'm leaning into trust because I know that I actually desire and want these things, even though the anxiety is there. Okay, back to what I do, what you can do when symptoms flare. So there's been multiple times where I've been traveling where I have a big flare. And this has been in when I call myself recovered. Like in the past year to 2 years, I've had some big travel experiences where when I'm home and in my normal life, I'm pretty good. Like I feel the best in my body these days than I probably ever have. But when I've traveled, I've had a couple big flares happen. And so instead of canceling my plans, changing my itinerary, feeling like I'm back at square one, or questioning, why is this happening? What is going on? Oh my gosh, what's going to happen? I'm in a different country. I'm not going to get medical support, blah, 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 blah. Right? Instead of that, I breathe. I know this is my brain. This is what it does. And I move along with it. I take the symptoms with me. Sometimes I've had to change my plans because it's pretty intense. But again, it just is what it is. Hey, friends, it's Grace. If you feel like you've been doing all of the treatment protocols and all the different modalities to heal and you're still not feeling better and it's just kind of managing things, I'm here to talk to you for a second. So, it's not because you're doing it wrong or you just haven't found the answer yet. It's truly because your nervous system and brain are still operating in protection mode. And your nervous system and brain, when it perceives danger, physical or emotional danger, and even just ongoing stress, it keeps your body on high alert. So none of those treatment modalities are actually going to stick or work until you work with the bottom line, which is your brain and nervous system. Because when you're in the danger mode state, your digestion, immune system, hormones, and pain signals all get affected. It's like trying to heal while the alarm bells are still ringing in the background. And that is why so many people get stuck. You can do all of the treatment things you want, but if your system isn't regulated, your body can't access its natural healing state. This is exactly why I created my 4-month signature program, the Mind Body Healing Method. It's a step-by-step process that helps you calm your system, rewire old stress patterns, and retrain your brain to feel safe again so you can finally start to heal for good chronic pain and illness. This is a true recovery program, not just management. You'll get guided lessons, nervous system practices, live support, individual and group support, and a community that actually understands what you're going through. Enrollment is now open, so you can find the link below in the show notes or go to elevatetherapywellness.com/mind-body-healing-method. Because until your brain and body feel safe, no protocol or treatment plan will actually work. When your nervous system works, everything starts to heal. I travel a little bit differently now. It's not like I'm gone for a few days and have to pack a bunch of stuff in. I just hate doing that. So I travel for a while and I slow down. So if I have to just stay and hang in the hotel or Airbnb for the day or, not do whatever we plan to do, like it's what it is. What's the big deal? Right? It's truly not the end of the world. And I slow down and I take care of myself and I don't make my symptoms mean anything about me, about the trip, about whatever's going on. I'll journal, I'll feel the emotions that come up, right? But I just don't lean into it. I don't let it drive my life, my day, my travel. And that is how I get through it. And that's how you can get through any pain or flare or illness symptom that pops up. It's probably what I talk to the most with people every single day in a session in the mind body healing method. We are talking about it all the time because people come in and they're like, I was doing better and now I'm not. And I don't know what this means. And I don't know what to do. And every single time I say, hey, first and foremost, we're not giving meaning to it. Flares happen and it's completely normal. It's just your brain doing your brain thing, right? And then maybe we might go into, okay, is there a pattern here? Do we need to understand a part of you that's coming up or some emotion that's repressed? Like, we'll explore it. But I mean, I would say if there's anything I talk about the most, it is how to navigate a flare, how to navigate when symptoms pop up and you're in a lot of pain and you're freaking out. Because I get it. I've been there so many times. But I now know, I really do. I now know that I'm like, I don't do that anymore. I have emotion. Maybe I get frustrated or sad or whatever it is, but I don't freak out and question, why is this happening? What's wrong? Because I just know that that's sometimes how my body protects me. It sends me some signals and I just have to keep reminding it that, hey, we got this. We're okay. Now, a few actual contextual tips for when I travel. I always have hydration packets with me. If you know me, like if you've ever dated me, if you're my family, you know Grace always has hydration packets. And this comes from probably me being on the hypermobility scale, past history with POTS. Like I just know that my body needs more hydration than probably the average person. I don't make it mean anything. It just is what it is. And we also know travel dehydrates you. So I just always have that on hand, even though it might mean I go to the bathroom a lot more. I don't really care. It just, again, it is what it is. And yeah, it's annoying to pee a bunch on a plane, but don't make anything of it. Don't freak out thinking that people are thinking anything of you because they're not focused on you. They're focused on themselves. I always have snacks with me. Always, always, always. We want to be fueled and nourished as we travel. When I get there, if I can, I always try to make sure this happens. Sometimes it might not happen, but most of the time it does. I get there, I settle into wherever I'm staying, I shower, I move my body. I just do like very gentle movements and I go for a walk. I love getting out if I can, wherever I am, right? Maybe like on this next trip that I'm taking, I may not be able to do that, but I love getting outside and exploring the new area that I'm in because it basically reorganizes your brain to where you are. It grounds you, literally, your feet ground into the new earth that you're on, and it reorients into your whole system to, hey, this is where we are. We also like walking. This is what we're going to do. And it settles that safety more so in your brain and your body. And it gives you a sense of grounding. So I try to always do that. Now, when things come up during travel, again, I just work with it. I go with it and I don't let it overtake me. Things always do. Travel is a metaphor so much for our own healing journey in life because it activates different things in us, different parts of us. Maybe with your partner, it activates a certain fight that you always have or like a disagreement. Within you, it probably activates that feeling insecure or maybe unsure or lack of control. Instead of saying, well, it activates those parts of me, so I'm not going to do it. Let's just be with those parts. That's the one thing I think, too. If I could say two things about this journey is that the better you can respond to your symptoms and your illness, the less that it will overtake you. And over time, it will help you recover. And then also, two, retrain our bodies and regulate our nervous systems. We have to actually sometimes be in the activation. So if you're always avoiding things that that increase pain or illness, then you're actually not going to be able to rewire them. So if travel activates you, and I'm not saying push, do not push yourself. Again, sometimes our symptoms are telling us something, telling us that something's not right. And to figure out what that is, it takes practice. It just does. It takes practice and time. But I think that the biggest thing here is that I don't want you to avoid everything that brings on symptoms. We need to retrain the association. So for me, I've been working on retraining my brain and body's association with traveling, with being out of my norm, with being out of control. Because I don't want to live a life that I'm fearful of being out of control or not knowing what's going to happen. Because that's life, y'all. Life is unknown and full of possibilities. So, in my opinion, at least, I want to know what those possibilities are. And I don't really want my fear and anxiety to keep me from those. So that's what I'm working on when I travel. Nothing crazy deep or anything, you know? And then when I get home, I was just talking actually to my partner about this because we were thinking about changing our flights. And I was like, in the past, I would have said, oh, okay, yeah, it's better points, better mileage. And, it'll essentially cheaper, right, to take that. And it's a better flight plan. In the past, I would have just done that, even though it messed up, even though it would have encroached on my system of calming down and regulating and giving myself space and time to recover when I come home. Because I do need time. Even if jet lag is a little more mind body, which I'll talk about that in a second, actually, it's something I'm learning. We still need, at least I do, especially coming back from a totally different time zone, I need time to recover. I know myself now and I need a minimum of a few days. So I will get home and then I'll have at least a couple days where I could just get back into my life, get my routine going, catch up on some work stuff. And then I will start seeing clients on day 3 or so because I don't want to be in a dysregulated, crappy, tired state when I'm actually supporting and helping people. And so always give yourself time. Give yourself time. Don't expect yourself to just jump right back into life. And so my point being is that we were talking about switching our flight and I was like, you know what? I don't want to dismiss myself again. I don't want to dismiss the boundaries that I set, and I want to stick with the original plan we had. I'm proud of myself for that. Because again, in the past, I would have people pleased and been like, yeah, it's fine. Now, this last thing I will mention, I'll talk about another time because I'm still navigating it. So I used to get really frustrated with jet lag because when I came home, it always affected me so much. I mean, y'all, I would go into the depths of the freaking soul journey earth for like a week when I came back from travel. And I was like, God, it's just the sleep. It's just the jet lag. It's killing me. And then a very wise new friend of mine reminded me, he was like, jet lag is pretty much mind body. Like, we kind of know that now, meaning that it is more neuroplastic. Like, there's not something physically wrong with me. It's more like mental, emotional state. And you could probably see the light bulb go off over my head. I was like, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. Okay. So I'm working with that now because it also makes sense. So when I go somewhere, when I leave my home and I go to another place, y'all, jet lag doesn't affect me. I mean, I'm not perfect, like for a night or two, right? For usually about 2 to 3 nights, I won't have consistent sleep. I'll have kind of broken sleep and I'll be tired. And leading up to bedtime, I'll have like a headache, but it's not that bad. And usually the rest of the day, I'm great. I'm fine. I'm excited. I'm loving life. So it doesn't really affect me. But when I come home, yeah, it's like a whole other level, which just goes to show that jet lag isn't the physical response. It is much more of belief system, mental, emotional, like what's going on, right? What is it about my life that I'm not wanting to come back to? Or what is it that I'm holding on to? Or like what's happening there underneath the surface that's making my brain go into threat mode when it comes to jet lag? So stay tuned. I'll talk more about that when I come back next month and work with the mind body approach to jet lag. Until then, I hope this was helpful. And if you want to follow along with me on this journey, follow me on Instagram. I'll be posting about the travel and I'll share more about the update on jet lag. And until then, keep healing with grace, and I'll talk to you next week.